Now, a line chart could be interesting because one thing I'm starting to wonder is, because I hear it in the news a lot, is are the shark attacks in these cities getting worse over time? That's something that this data should be able to show us, right? And so a line chart would be appropriate for that because a lot of times a line chart, what we do is we track a single variable and whether it goes up or down over time. Like if I were to pull the information from my Apple Watch about how many minutes each week I worked out for the last, I've had this an Apple Watch for probably 10 years now. So I got a crap ton of data that I could look at. But what it would probably show you is, unfortunately, it doesn't do this. It just sort of like does this kind of stuff. And depending on how motivated I am and what the weather's like and all kinds of things. So we could form some conclusions about that data, I'm sure, especially if you throw in my body weight with that whole data series. It's kind of scary how much my Apple Watch could tell you about my habits. So line chart, very useful for this. And a line chart is also very easy to create. Actually, most of these charts, you can see that it's a small amount of data. By the way, this code is in Canvas for you to download and play with as well. But a line chart here, again, look at this. I'm just doing away with any data preparation in advance. Now, I'm just using the data frame straight from the data, using the whole thing. And I'm saying X is going to be year. So we're going to use year to travel along here. And we're going to plot the number of shark attacks. And we're going to color each city differently. There's the title. And then again, the labels are what appears when you hover over it. Now, if there's any trend over time in these shark attacks, we should be able to see it. Does it look like there's a trend in shark attacks to you? That's like anybody feel a little disappointed that there wasn't a trend? I mean, we don't want to see shark attacks increasing over time, but this looks like modern art, so it doesn't really tell us much. Now, we could very easily, by turning off and on different cities, we could kind of go city by city here. One thing I wish there was, and maybe there is, and I just haven't found it yet, a way to turn off all the cities at once and then bring them back. Okay, so we just look at Fort Lauderdale. Is there a pattern in Fort Lauderdale? No. It's just like my exercise all over the place. Newport Beach, Monterey. None of these cities is showing a really strong trend over time. So clearly, like the data, that's not the story the data is telling us. The data is not saying there's more shark attacks happening over time. Now, the convenient part of this that I have not shown you yet is that this is in your web browser. Maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't, but it opens up in a web browser. So everything I have here, I could save this whole interactive page and send it to somebody, and they could interact with this data without having the data itself, which is really kind of interesting. But the other thing that is interesting here that I can do, notice my little crosshair cursor here. If I drag like this, I can zoom in on just the part of the data that I want to see. So now I'm looking at just those years, 2017, 2018, right? And well, the easiest way to get it back, there should be a way to zoom out, but I can't remember what it is. But with this data, you can zoom in and you can pan around like this, zoom in, zoom out. Oh, there we go. So I can zoom way out. So you can interact with this data quite a bit. Auto scale, that puts it back to normal. reset axes. Okay, so there's some really cool stuff you can do to interact with these things. So we kind of we're getting a sense of what's not going on and what is going on with the data.